We've hinted at the scars that have been torn through Mei Yin's soul, and now we've revealed one of the biggest mysteries, which is what is really driving her and what has really shaped her. She's been captured by her worst enemy, but also now she's reliving her worst moment. Mei Yin's being brought to realize, or maybe she starts to think as a character, that she's always going to be alone. She's thinking that she's always going to fail in her quest against evil. And there's a real moment for her where she's going to lose all of her faith.
My life is already forfeit. You have nothing left with which to threaten me.
And I don't wish to. You see, I've never understood why we are enemies.
In many ways, ARK is an exploration of how people form relationships in extraordinary circumstance. No matter how strange it might be, there is a deep affection that Nerva actually has for Mei Yin.
One of the most humiliating secrets that each of them has is how much they admire the other. How they are cut from the same cloth. You know, they're both apex predators that have been removed from their natural environments and have found this kinship, you know, this sense of the world, this capacity for survival. And I think that there is this magnetism between the two of them and this disgust that Mei Yin knows how much easier her life could have been if she had just been Nerva's companion, Nerva's right-hand man.
Why do you make it so much worse for yourself?
Should I betray my friends as you did, Rockwell?
You should simply tell him what he wants to hear. That's what I do.
When Rockwell tells Mei Yin, just tell him what he wants to hear. It is a massive clue for us as to what's been going on this whole time. Rockwell will tolerate the way that Nerva treats him, but he does so only as a means to an end. And he's also looking much longer term at what the ARK can present to him and the ultimate power that he's going to be able to claim.
Helena? Man, I'm here.
In this episode, this is the first time we actually seen the strong Mei Yin who fought saber-toothed tigers, knocked the gladiatrix off the bridge, had fought Nerva, and now we see her in this completely vulnerable state where she is chained up and she's held captured and she is broken. She is beaten down. And you know, this is the first time we've seen her this vulnerable. That's a tough moment in the way we staged it in the flow of the storytelling. We really tried to emphasize kind of the sadness and weakness of Mei Yin at this point and how much she needs to rely on Helena.
You came for me.
As I hoped you would.
At the very end, have a very complicated fight sequence. So the leading up to Helena getting to Mei Yin, once we reveal that it's a big trap, that's when the choreography kind of goes crazy, because what I had to do is figure out like how to do the cross-cutting, which is, you know, we have the Mei Yin and Helena on their way out, right? So they're going down this main street that Helena had already snuck into. John and Nerva are fighting in the main courtyard, and then we have the giant Gigasaurus, I believe, comes out and just starts destroying everything. And so the cross-cutting between all of these different locations was a bit of a nice balancing act.
We have so many elements happening at the same time on top of each other, and how do we keep the flow going and keep all of these things moving at the same time? And it was a real challenge to stage it that way, but at the same time, It's a really rewarding moment as you see it all go together. It really is a very complicated play, and the angles that we choose were very deliberate in order to show multiple things happening on screen. So in this episode, it always comes down to the fight scenes, and we have John and Nerva just going at it. And this is a moment I'm really proud of, because we wanted this scene, to be one of the coolest fights so far, and getting to see John, at his best.
There's this particular moment where John leaps off the T-Rex, and for me as a director, one of the things I'm homaging to that maybe people not know is there's this moment in this movie called Fire and Ice where the wolf god or whatever jumps out, and then in my head I was like, that's John leaping out. So I had that moment that I wanted to kind of show these heroic moments of John, but not really tip off to the audience that he was going to die.
John is fighting Nerva, but he knows what his outcome is. He knows what's coming.
Smiling? Why are you smiling?
We have a moment where, he knows these are not his stars, meaning this is not his home, this is not his land, where he is from. It's kind of a poignant moment as he basically, again, sacrifices himself for the greater good so that Mei Yin can escape and help lead this charge against Nerva.
Helena has gone from being a survivor with no idea how she got here to being a warrior, from having lost a spouse to gaining someone with whom she's going to play a very significant role in fighting for the repressed and fighting against Nerva. In this final scene, when we see this messenger coming to Kor, the prophet, voiced by Russell Crowe, it's just a hint and a little bit of a tease about what's going to come.
So you've seen Helena and Mei Yin's journeys, the broken places that they began, how they found renewal and purpose and passion through one another. And if you want to see where the romance and everything else goes, then you are not going to be able to wait for the explosiveness coming in part 2.
Can you feel it? The balance of nature has been altered. Such movements are ominous. Soon the very pillars of the earth will be alight, and everything that we know